Hello, we are Sornia. Greetings to all. It's a beautiful experience to come forward like this and offer some guidance, offer some insights. Can you feel my presence with you? Try to do that. Try to, as you're listening to any of us, me or any of the others that are coming forward, try to feel who we are. You have repeats. We avoid giving you names. We've talked about that for the reason that we want you to feel us, and so that you understand, because a lot of us are connected to you in ways in which you will only know us through that energy communication, that energetic communication. So as you are listening to the words that we share with you, of course, you want to pay attention to the significance, the meaning, the content. But listen, as we've said often to you, listen with the heart so that you can get the unspoken messages that are there. And there are many unspoken messages. We're going to play a little, not play, we're going to explain something for you that might help you, or hoping will help you in your real world. So we don't have language. You know that. We have, for the most part, those of us that are part of Sornia, there are some exceptions to this, communicate telepathically. Now, there are realms in which there is still language, Earth being one of them, but there are other realms and beings of light that are guardians of those realms, and they use language also. They haven't evolved. So you've got everything up here. But we're talking about us, those of Sornia, the majority, and you that are hearing these messages. So you are hearing the words and you are receiving the messages of the words. But what we want is for you to listen to the pause and the silence between the words, between the sentences. Listen for that. Listen with your heart. Because of the fact that we don't use language, the way in which you use language, and we are communicating knowledge and wisdom and information through a vessel, the medium, who has language to communicate these messages, because that's the way it's designed right now. That's where your evolution is at, in that human form. But we want you to begin to practice knowing how to understand telepathic messages. Okay? It's different than your intuition. Your intuition is what comes up from inside of you. It is not your spirit guide, God or source nudging you and telling you something. That's your intuition is yours. It's yours. We and God, also source, creator, communicate telepathically. And because you in your journey of discovery let's say, have come into this incarnation here that you are in, we'll say your main incarnation, the one, your root incarnation, this one. You're working from this incarnation, this timeline, which will affect the other ones, obviously. But You came into this one in order to understand that very function of communication from the spirit world to the world that you live in. So breaking down the barriers, they were kind of forced on you, the walls that are there that prevent you from feeling the true meaning of what someone is saying by understanding the pause, listening to the words through the heart and allowing it to be an experience that's not just your mind and your ears that are functioning, but your whole energy system is alive and alert to the messages, whatever they are, whether you are having a superficial conversation with someone at the grocery store or in deep conversation with a friend or a foe, you want to know the truth. So we've suggested that to you. Many of you are doing it already and finding great satisfaction in asking to know what truth is. Show me what truth. Just keep showing truth to me. And a lot of you have said to us, it's amazing when all you have to do is ask and it happens. You do receive. So you're learning to recognize truth in your world. Now, this is another aspect of that. That's why we're bringing this forward to you right now. Being able to go beyond the words that are coming through the medium and being able to feel and sense what the medium is attempting to emit through her own energy system that she is receiving from us. So we give her it all this information, not just with words. As we've told you in the past, she just knows things and then she puts it into language that you understand. That process is a superficial process. When you are able to listen to the words quietly with an open heart and listen to the pause in between with an open heart, you will get more information because that is the way it is. See, all of these things that we come to you to suggest that you do, they're all the means of you freeing yourselves from the entrapment. This is our focus with you and has been for a very long time. We want that you free yourselves so that you can be the eternal beings in human form that you came here to be. And it's okay still to have your experiences in human form. And some of you are having some very amazing experiences. So keep on doing that, but now take your next step towards mastery to a deeper level. Play with this. Go back to some of the older messages and see if you listen to them the way that we are suggesting, if you can pick up some information that maybe you didn't get the first time around. Some of you have already done this. Some of you study these messages, which we find to be very beneficial. Well, you find it to be beneficial. We benefit because you're usually the ones with the most clarity and ask the most questions, which prompts us to come forward with more information. So thank you for those that really, that you question, you challenge some of these teachings. You must challenge these teachings if you feel you need to challenge them, because we are guiding all of you to know in a conscious way your sovereignty, to know in a conscious way that you are eternal beings having a human experience. We're challenging you with all of that. How does that feel? Sometimes it can be scary. Some of you have said that it can be scary. It feels too daunting, you don't feel up to the task. And we've said this before, we'll say it again. You are always up to the task. You wouldn't be where you are at doing what you're doing if you weren't capable. It's impossible. You wouldn't be a vibrational match. So keep that in mind, a little thing that you really want to keep as a reminder. Everything that's happening to you outside of you is a reflection of you and who you are and what you want to do, as always. And you know this, but we're repeating this because some of you kind of forget this stuff. What is this telling you about yourself? Instead of avoiding those questions, you should be really, let's put it this way, if you're truly looking to free yourself, you will be asking that question continually. You'll be that aware. Most of you are, some of you aren't. Some of you find it tedious, and that's okay. It's okay. You got to do what you need to do. But time is such that you will be supported by all of us, by the forces, by the divine on this journey of discovery, of remembering who you are. And then when you truly, truly remember who you are, off you go. Off you go. There will be no stopping you in what you will be capable of doing. We want to talk a little bit about that as well, what we've been observing from those that have opened up with us and how we've seen the great acts of generosity, kindness. Some of you have been making some sacrifices of late with joy. So sacrifice kind of suggests, that word suggests a suffering, but there's not a suffering there. You're giving of yourselves with joy, stretching yourselves and finding that brings more joy than resisting and restraining yourselves. We're seeing it. You're experiencing it. I would say, or we would say, all of us here at Sornia have observed this, that all of you in one way or another have opened your eyes and your heart and your minds and your everything to such a degree that the information that is of truth for you comes easier. It's presented to you and you are able to recognize it and you trust it easier than you have in the past. Most of you are also leading quite, maybe you would call it sedentary lives. What do we mean by that? There's not a lot of movement. Yes, you may have your jobs and your family and all of that, but there's not a lot of change going on. There's not a lot of shifting. There's not a lot of that expansion. You're kind of in what you would say a holding pattern. The reason being is that you are all waiting for all of you to be aligned in the same way in human form. So you've done this before as a group, but you've done it in past incarnations when you had a little bit more of, not a little bit, you had quite a bit more understanding of the nature of who you really are. Now you're doing it, and it's really being done in almost a covert way. You are coming together, uniting each other through the truth. So you are supporting each other through your heart chakras. And as you work on yourself and say your friend isn't quite there, but you wouldn't really know it in the human form, but you know it because you share a journey together, you will wait. You've asked, let's wait. Hold back on the energies that push us forward to uncover more so that we can all do this together. So there are many more of you at the same place. Essentially, what we're saying is for the next, in your time, weeks, months, maybe, you will feel like there's not a lot going on. Maybe not a lot of new insights. You're kind of the same old. You're going deep into your emotional body and working on emotional energies that you've worked on before, and they're there. You've been doing all of that. This is kind of that time for that. While you're waiting for the others to do the same thing. You may be farther along than your best friend or your partner or the others in your group that you frequent. So you're waiting for them to catch up. So what does all this mean? Why are we sharing this with you? Because there's the power in numbers. There's the power of unity. You should be starting to see more of you finding each other. I believe we told you this before, but you should be finding each other and joining together in ways in which are beneficial not only for humanity, but for yourselves. So there's this more of unity occurring in these, you could call them smaller groupings, but they're fairly large numbers that are in there. But compared to everyone that's on the planet and what still needs to be done, they're smaller groupings. But you understand that by uniting your forces from the heart, because again, your heart chakra is incredibly open. Those of you who have we've talked about this, how open your heart chakras are. Yes, you still have things that you're healing and the wounds and all of that, and they'll come up and you'll take care of them. But most of you know that your heart chakra is in almost a constant state of radiating compassion, love, and kindness. And you manage your own emotional energies that are not of that, of love or compassion. You manage them on your own, and they don't stick to your energy system through the heart. They're not sticking to you, okay? Is the best way to say it. They're not being embedded into your system and going into the subconscious. You've pulled them up out of the subconscious. You've healed a lot of them. And from there, you have then been able to be clearer in your commitment to yourselves and to all of humanity. The progress being made here by all of you is having a profound effect on the collective, on the collective consciousness, on all of those individuals that are in the collective. You're going to see that. You're going to see more expressions of unity that are coming forward, and you're allowing those expressions of unity to come forward through you. We haven't talked about your chakras much lately for the fact that You're still working a lot with the sacral chakra. It's a stickler, but you are starting to also work with the root chakra. Just beginning to work with the root chakra and balancing the root chakra so that it is in alignment with the rest of your chakras, but not so much that, but it's aligning with the energies that are, let's put it this way, the vibration that you are as a soul. It's coming together. You are coming together and you are understanding how important it is that you continue to move forward from a state of lack of knowledge to a state of wisdom, and doing this without fear. That's the other thing. Fear with all of you is, it's still there. When fear comes up, you know how to handle it. But for the most part, fear isn't in your energy systems the way it was at one time. So we're telling you essentially that everything that you are experiencing at this time will be the force that is going to bring you all closer together, and you're going to feel it. You don't have to be in the proximity of these people either. Remember that. That's why we talked about telepathy. And we've talked to you in the past about energies. You don't have to be present physically to someone and feel them. And you've been practicing that. That's what we want. So we're going to continue to encourage you with understanding how that works. And today, that's what we shared with you. And we're sharing what we can about the chakras so that you are aligned with the higher vibrational frequencies of which are your true nature. And from there, you can do so much. Yes, your world is one crazy place, but it's been crazy for a long time. You're just seeing it now because you're asking for truth. And those who are new to this, some of you have friends and family that are new to this, and they see this, and they define the world through that perspective of it being chaotic, and you share this with them, they can start to see that it's serving a purpose. It has to come to light. Truth is coming to light because more and more individuals are asking for truth, and it's coming to light. And you go, but where's the goodness? We want the goodness. It's there. But you have to see truth of the darkness also. And that's what's going on. And you will be seeing it. And we're so happy to tell you that when you see it, some of you, we don't want to say laugh, but you smile and go, oh, wow, look at that. There isn't fear attached to it. So there will be events. You know that. You know that probably better than us. Events that will upset. There already are. But see through the falsehood of them. Find the love always and stay in that place. That is your true nature. So be that love. Be that compassion. This is all we have for you. We love you very much. We are Sornia. Goodbye.